Testing, testing. Hey guys, I'm just trying something new. I got a microphone. You can see it. It's like it plugs right here. And I wanted to see if it sounds okay. So if anybody, I see that at least one person is watching. So let me know if it sounds okay or if it's better the way it was before. I wanted something, there's something about headsets kind of bugs my ears, and I don't know, I'm not a big fan. But yeah, let me know, and welcome to the stream. Let me just bring up the chat on my phone here so that I know that you guys can, so I know that you guys are looking. No, that's okay. I will pin messages in the future. I guess this channel's growing actually, which is kind of cool. I dig it. Hold on a second here. Chat filter, all messages. There we go. Alright, so I see that there are people joining the stream. So yeah, first of all, I just wanted to say hello and welcome to the stream. I hope you guys are doing okay. The other thing is that I'm trying out this new microphone here. Let me know if it's picking up the audio from my speakers, because I can lower my volume a little bit if that's a problem. And if I sound okay, because I got this online. I wanted a microphone that was a little bit, not like my headset. That was like a cheap one that comes with my cell phone, I think, or MP3, I don't know. It's really old. So let me know. The other thing is, I'm going back into Ultra Street Fighter 4 because apparently there's new stuff in here that I didn't know about. There's a bunch of new costumes that I didn't know about, so I must have stopped playing this game while there was more stuff being developed. I think I kind of stopped playing this game like in 2018 or something like that, because a friend of mine that I played with a lot stopped talking to me. We got into an argument over Black Lives Matter stuff, and he did not like my taste. So, but he kind of has come around since then. We started talking again recently. He doesn't agree with me still, but you have a right to be wrong. So yeah, let me know. I'm watching the chat, and I'm gonna explore some of this Omega stuff. So, I'm gonna go into training. One thing that I am curious about is, because I have some other games I want to stream, so I might not be on this one for very long, but the thing is I can't switch games without ending the stream. I don't know how to do that, on a PlayStation 4 at least. So what I might have to do is end and then restart in a different game, if I don't end up playing with this one for very long. So, let's see if Gen's changed. I'm curious about that, so let's see. So they have the, there's a lot more skins they added, or not a lot more, but like at least everyone's got at least one or two more that I didn't know about before, weren't available when I was really into this game. Excuse me. And then there's this edition thing. Now this I knew about. They had like Super Street Fighter 4, Arcade Edition, Super Street Fighter 4 2012, I'm not really sure what that is. Ultra Street Fighter 4, which is the current one, and then Omega. So I want to see what Omega is. What I looked it up. They said that it was more interested in what is fun than game balance. So I don't know if it's like completely broken, but I'm gonna find out. Again, let me know if you guys can hear me okay, and if this is like if it sounds terrible, let me know how so I can try to fix it. Otherwise, I have the headset over here. I can just plug that in and use it. If it's too much trouble, so. Again, just sort of playing around with some options. Let me, I don't know, some different, we'll see what stuff is supposed to do right
there. Alright. Training stage. The stage of battle is set.
Yeah, overhead. I don't know what that is.
Are you ready? Fight!
Alright, let me see. Oh, he's got his target combos back. It's just like he played in Alpha. That's pretty good, but it knocks him down though. Yeah, I can't just mash. Alright. So to stop, close kick, healing jump, falling kick. That's all the same. That's the same. That's the same. That's the same. That's the same, it looks like. Yeah. Mantis. LM. Crouching LM. Standing HM. Really? Oh. Wait. Well, that I know. So. Oh, that's weird. No, it's not the same. That doesn't work the same way either. It only pushes them all the way out and takes more time. Alright, let's try Crane then. See how things are. That's a weird attack. Do I still have the overhead? No, he doesn't have it. Can I what? It's not even. That doesn't make sense. Alright. But it's there. That knocks him down. That's coming out faster though. Can I do the air attack? Okay, let me see if I can do it. I don't know if I like getting this version though. Something off. Let me see what Chun-Li is like.
The world's fiercest fighters await! Will you be the last warrior standing?
Workout suit, I think. And let's see what that's like in this.
Training stage. Fists will fly at this location. It's the battle of the century. Fight!
Okay. The same. Still do the seems to be the same. Whoa, that's good. Wait, she does the fireball? Oh, so it doesn't charge. It's not a charge attack. You can just throw it. Before you have to charge it. So I have to do it. So let me see. Here's this one. That knocks it down. So that doesn't work. Alright. You do this still. Infinite. Just out of curiosity. That's not it. Alright, let's look at the command. No, it's not gonna give me the Omega version, no. Yeah, it's only gonna tell me the Ultra, so that's not gonna work. Fireball? What? Oh, she's... There it is, okay. Wait, you're not pulling? Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
The craziest and wildest fighters have assembled from around the world to join in the fight. But only one will be declared the best.
Try that. Yeah, another thing I don't like is that you can't pick like 2 different. Like there's 3 different ways to set up your character. Somebody's messing. Alright. Okay, let's want to try one more character and a little bit of that. So see how that goes. That might play through arcade mode. I've been trying to like get good again.
Locale chosen. The battle has begun.
I have to experiment with moves because I can't look at this. So, okay, that looks interesting. And again, I can't keep it going. It just does like a little burst. You have the headbutt. Okay. What's that? Okay. Let me see here. He's kind of neat. Throw. Oh, that's different. It doesn't flip. It doesn't go up. But if you do the EX, it does go twice. Oh, that one's pretty cool. It has like an ending. What is it with sumo wrestlers? Alright. Can't look at the... Yeah, I guess I gotta go get a moveless offline. I don't know. Alright, well, we'll just leave it at that. I just wanted to see. So, I'll have to play around with the Omega mode. But I just found it. I didn't even know it was a thing. Hello, new person that joined us in the chat. Let me know how the audio is. Because I like playing without a headset. So I bought this new microphone. I want to see if it's any good. So, meanwhile, let's do arcade mode. I don't think there's a lot of online activities. Everybody's playing Street Fighter 6 now, but we'll do some of this.
The world's fiercest fighters await. Will you be the last warrior standing?
So I have this game called Sifu. Very good. I've been meaning to get back into it. I might stream that. Let's try Chun-Li. And, oh, I didn't set one, that's why. Well, that sucks. Alright.
So,
Chun-Li was the first character I ever played in Street Fighter.
この間のジュリの件といい、やはりあいつらの影はまだ消えていないというわけね。あの恐ろしい兵器、ブリースを作ったセス。彼を取り逃がしてしまった時から、いつかもう一度会うことになると分かっていたけど、まさか格闘大会を開くなんて。SIN がシャドルーの関連企業である以上、どこかで父さんの手がかりも見つかるかもしれない。父さん、あなたのことを知りたい。たとえもう会えないのだとしても、どんな風に戦い、どこで最後を迎えたのか。
You know, Chun-Li and Cammy had a cameo in Wreck-It Ralph, if I remember correctly. Ken reused it too. Well, they told me they were in a couple of bits. But I'm fairly certain Chun-Li and Cammy are like walking around in that like, you know, video game.
South America, it's Black Chun. We've got two supreme fighters lined up. This is gonna be one hell of a show.
覚悟はいいわね。
お前に俺を通すことはできない。
It's the battle of the century. Fight!
ここよ。
What will happen now? Fight! You win! East Asia. Festival at the Old Temple. Destination confirmed.
これより戦闘を開始する。
Who will emerge a champion? Fight!
はいゴーはいはいゴーケン
That kick, I love it. I don't know why it's so
これが
effective.
空風よ
Will the tide of battle turn? Fight!
冒険はい
You win!
Firearms free.
North America. Back near Ida.
Body.
Destination confirmed.
I am Red Cyclone!
Are you ready? Fight!
ここから始めるはいさあフィニックガードキープはいはいフィニックガードキープ百列脚はいはいフィニックガードキープ血だらけよおー冒険
KO!
これが空風よ
What will happen now? Fight! Fists will fly at this location! Let's get started! Fight!
Fire Soul! Fire Soul! Fire Soul! Fire Soul! Fire Knee! Fire Uppercut! Fire!
Scorpion! Hai!
Fire Soul! Fire Soul! Fire Uppercut!
Scorpion! Hai!
Hey!
Hai!
Hey! Fire Knee! Fire!
Scorpion!
Fire Soul!
Hai!
Fire Soul! Fire Soul!
K.O.
日々の鍛錬は嘘をつかないわ。
Pick up the pace! Fight!
Scorpion!
Fire Soul! Fire Soul!
はい！
Hey!
はい！
Hey! Fire Uppercut! Fire Soul! Fire Uppercut! Hey! Fire Soul! Fire Soul! Fire Soul! Hey! Fire Soul! Fire Uppercut! Hey! Hey! Fire Soul!
Scorpion!
Fire Soul!
K.O.
Take it.
You win! East Asia, Pit Stop 109. Destination confirmed!
根性を叩き直したる
Who will emerge a champion? Fight!
いい感じね。
よけてみ
これがクンフーよ。
Let's keep it up! Fight! K.O.
さあ油塗り直そこか
This match decides the winner! Fight!
Oh!
That Turk almost got us.
You win!
I'm gonna test my microphone really quick, guys. I want to see how it sounds. So I got unmuted over here. So I got unmuted over here. Alright, it looks like it's still a little, it's being picked up. So I'm gonna lower the volume of my TV a little bit more. That should be better. I don't know if it's Oh, good. Hey, a Norwegian. How do I sound? Do I sound okay?
Will the tide of battle turn? Fight!
I'll take it.
You win! And now, fight your rival!
I haven't played Chun-Li in a long time. Really good
Your
with her.
this work is done. Fight
Played a
locale
lot
chosen.
in the original Street Fighter. Oh, no reason. A fat man and a woman fighting his oppression. The body positive man and a womb carrier, is that what we're calling him now? Women with people with uterus have her.
Are you ready? Fight!
Bonus hole. You know, lesbian relationships do have the highest rates of domestic violence. I can see that.
Let's keep it up! Fight!
Ooh, good. Okay. All right. The audio is a little muffled. The game audio is fine though.
You
Because
win!
Can you hear me okay? Like my voice? Because I may have to raise the volume a little on the microphone and with my options. I'll do it after.
Unknown. Crumbling laboratory. Fight locale. Chosen.
Nobody was talking in the chat. I just have lurkers. Alright, final boss fight.
よくぞここまで来た。さあその力、ここで存分に発揮してもらおう。遠慮はいらん。
It's the battle of the century. Fight!
Stick move!
Got him. You gotta fade out some of those attacks, because if you try to like be offensive against these guys,
Pick up the
you
pace.
can like read them on.
Fight!
Raising them okay. Let me try that real quick while paused. You should be able to hear me even though let's try that. Is this good? I want to try it. Ooh. Oh boy. No. Oh yeah. So, how does that sound better?
You win!
I feel like it's coming back to me. I feel like it's coming back to me. Chun-Li saying goodbye to her friends, Yun and Yang, who are also playable characters. I like Yang a lot. I always gravitate in these fighting games. I always gravitate towards the Chinese characters because they usually do kung fu, and I just think kung fu is cool as shit. But I also tend to like ninja type characters too. I also think ninjas are super cool. So, a Norwegian, how does that sound? Is that better or worse or what?
そうか。
It was great when you were messing with the options. I'm awful with audio, so I'm not much help, sadly. That's okay. At least somebody's giving me feedback. If you can hear me, I mean, I can probably get like a better mic, you know. If there was a way, I don't know. Like, what I want is a capture card for my computer. Then I can do everything in the computer room, and I wouldn't have to worry about the quality. I'd be able to better manage the stream. but most of the games I want to play, I have on PS4, although I do have some PC games. Okay, so let's try this. I'm going to play one more arcade match, but I'm going to play Poison, because Poison is a character of much debate in the Street Fighter fandom, and I happen to like Poison as a character a lot. A little bit of history you might know if you've ever played there was like the side-scrolling beat 'em up that was a predecessor to Street Fighter Street Fighter 2 called Final Fight. And in Final Fight there was 3 playable characters. There was Guy, Cody, and Hagar. He was like the mayor of Metro City. And there were these bad guys you fought called the Mad Gear Gang, and there's a few of the Mad Gear Gang characters are playable in Street Fighter games. At least 2 are here. Relento, 3 of them actually. Relento, Hugo, which was called Andore, who was based on Andre the Giant, and Poison. And Poison were these, in the arcade, it was like this biker chick woman with like a dominatrix thing, and they were like, they were minions basically. Like the Poisons would come out. They would have 2 names, Poison and Roxy. And one had pink hair and one had orange hair, and they would do like acrobatic flip attacks and stuff like that. But in the home console version of Final Fight, JoJo's sister, but in the Final Fight version of, or not Final Fight, I'm sorry, the home console version of the original Final Fight game, for whatever reason, they changed the character, like the what do you call it, the pixel, I guess, pixel rendering of the character from a woman to these really thin men. And they did it, I guess, because they didn't want to like promote violence against women in the game. And this was like in the 80s and 90s, so far away from where we are now. So anyway, the home consoles, there were 2 different, but they basically played the same role. They were enemies, and they were skinny dudes instead of women. And then I think that as a consequence of that, when they started bringing back the Poison characters, there was this implication or suggestion that Poison is trans. Now, of course, people are going to try to make that claim, but she is definitely not. So, although it doesn't really stop like Coomers from cooming, like I'm sure that there's lots of Futanari, fan art out there for Poison, but yeah, Poison's definitely a woman, and I like playing her in the game. She's actually like got a cool move set, and I like her personality. She's pretty overtly sexual, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that we're basically going into a new age of Puritanism, where the stuff that you're going to see in this playthrough, you're not going to see in video games. Like, period. Like the Skullgirls game is being like, it's being censored left, right, and center. And Street Fighter games have seen that. Street Fighter 5 and 6 are probably going to have a lot of censorship. I know people are modding them and all that, but it's losing the spirit of what it was. So, anyway, Poison is one of my... I love Jen, by the way, but like Poison is a pretty cool character. I like her, so... Take this, old man. How is he doing with this? I'm the button taps getting a little loud too. Shit. Oh, good.
Will the tide of battle turn? Fight!
I miss the days when games were all allowed to be edgy and parents were especially parents of children. I don't think it's about the children. I honestly don't. I mean, it's not the worst way to go out.
You win!
Yeah, you know, no one does parenting anymore, but I mean, not just like in the sense that they don't teach their children, like, you know, how to live in the world or how to be in the world, but in the sense that people are not becoming parents.
Battle has begun! Fight!
We're fucked. Potentially. I mean, I guess the Amish and the Romans will take care of us. Oh, shit. Ouch. Oh no! Shit, that didn't hit like I was hoping it would. He was a little too far away. When my mother yelled at me, I'd be afraid, not for fear of a beating, but because I knew I fucked up. Yeah. Ooh, what? That was a mistake. That's not what I wanted to do. Ever played the Devil May Cry series? Yes. I played the first 3. I didn't play 4. I have 5, but I haven't started it yet. I was thinking I wanted to stream that one too. I also, I'm a big fan of Bayonetta, but I only ever played the first Bayonetta. Metal Gear Rising is really good too. I might get that for PC so I can stream it because I think it's a great game. What else? Yeah, I love action games. Vanquish, I mean, it's not like Devil May Cry, but it's great. Is that, you mean 4 sets up context for 5? I see a little, what it looks like, a little circle with spikes on it. Oh yeah, no, I Or poison. Get squished by this guy. I gotta figure out how to deal with you guys. I mean, I could try zoning, but not. I don't know if it's gonna work. Almost every character has a tool for that. Is he really just gonna take this? Gonna hurt. Oh wow, that does a lot of damage. I'll take it.
あんたじゃ勝負にならないよ。喧嘩も見た目も。
Fight!
How do you do that? Unbelievable.
You lose!
The children... Let me see this one here. The children casually watching a woman and a buff dude beating each other up, cracking me up. Oh, the children... Yeah, I know. It is a funny setting, isn't it? Underneath some train tracks. Is this like bum fights? Is this what San Francisco looks like right now? Because if that's the case, then yeah, maybe Poison is a man.
East Asia overpass. The stage of battle is set.
Except that bike doesn't look like it's stolen yet, so maybe
Who
it's
will
not.
emerge a champion? Fight!
Gonna keep doing this. This is what I have to do. Get off me. Oh my goodness. He's just gonna stand in front of me and do this. No. Ooh, that was close. Holy shit.
Let's keep it up! Fight!
No, get off me. Oh. Really?
Oh!
弱すぎるぜ。もっと強いやつはいねえのか。
Alright.
It all comes down to this. Fight!
Hey, Matt. No. Oh yeah, that's it. Right in the baby maker.
You win!
He gave me a hard time though. Sometimes it's like some of these like characters are they're like walls, you know. And, like they're really hard to get past. Okay, this might be less of a fight.
Let's get started! Fight!
Oh, you motherfucker. I like how Guy is like a ninja uniform, but he's got some chucks on. Take it.
This match decides the winner. Fight!
Shit.
You lose.
I keep trying to do fancy shit with her.
まだまだこれからだよ。
Who will bask in the glory and adoration that comes with being declared the world's greatest fighter?
You got a pretty face, I gotta give her that. Actually, everybody looks
Fight locale.
pretty good in this one. This is like a last generation game, but I still like it a lot. I mean, it's not like the... Well, actually, it's not even the last gen. It's like the gen before last. It's like the, you know, 360 era. PS3. Yeah, that's the shit. Oh, shit. You go. You got the Dom thing going on.
Let's keep it up.
Hence the, what do you call that? A horse whip? Really? Oh my goodness. My life? Nope, she got me. Can you believe it? Guy will force you into a corner.
Pull out all the stuff. Fight!
Now you go. Yeah. He was trying to cheese me out there. He was gonna cheese me out if I had blocked. A promise is a promise.
Europe, snowy rail yard.
She looks like Venus compared to women in modern games. Absolutely. So you know, I saw that like people on the internet are like raving about Anita Sarkeesian shutting down Feminist Frequency. They don't get it, man. It's just, that doesn't matter anymore. She doesn't need the Feminist Frequency. She's working in the industry. So yeah, things are not gonna be. They're gonna get worse. They're not gonna get better because people don't like. People listen to that shit, you know. Look at Angry Joe. He was like the #1 guy, right? He defends this shit. Now I'm gonna kick you in the ass. She's gonna leech off something else. No, she's gonna get a job. Like she has a job. She's a consultant for game companies. She's worked for EA, DICE. She's worked for Ubisoft, Naughty Dog. I mean, she's been involved. Like she has become like it's like Skynet going self-aware. Like that's where it's at now. So we have to be. I mean, there's not much we can do about it because Anita is basically just a symptom of a larger problem. It's the DEI, you know, philosophy. It's the whole. This is why I said like the. I'm not going to say the Gamergate lost because it's not over. Like it's been going on before Gamergate started, and it's going to be going on well after because it's the culture itself that's been under attack for like several decades, probably before we were born. You know. So, yeah, let's stop acting. People declare victory too soon, is what I'm saying, right? Like, Anita shuts down Feminist Frequency. Why? Because she doesn't need it anymore. She's basically like, it accomplished the goal. The goal of Feminist Frequency was to validate her worldview so that people would hire her on as a consultant for games. Because she was basically trying to like, essentially she went into a space dominated by beta males, pointed at them and accused them of being sexist and that they had to change things and be more inclusive and diverse, etc. And they all just said yes because they're beta and they didn't know how to say no to a woman. And so now she doesn't just work at these companies as a consultant, she has tremendous influence and that's just gonna keep going. Again, I already said, and it's not just Anita, it's a mindset, right? There's tons of feminists working in these companies, and the companies themselves are woke, and the DEI stuff, and when you add like the corporate equality index on top of that, and everything else, I mean, she's got it made. Like it doesn't. I mean, I'm sure that she believes what she's doing, but she's got it made. Like there's no, you know, it's not one of these things that you can just like, I don't know, like making someone or not making, but like. Causing someone to shut down their like feminist like I don't know company or website or critique channel or whatever does not make them disappear. It does not change their perspective. They're just going to keep doing it, and they're all because the left is always doing everything top down. They're just going to go like if the gamers don't agree with her. And we're the gamers are us. We're the people at the bottom. We're the people who pay into these companies. If we don't agree with her, then it's going to be the people at the top, the people who make the games, the people who design the games, right? So if all the games are woke in the market, then the gamers will have no choice. They'll either have to not play any games at all, or they'll have to buy the woke products. So, I mean, obviously we don't have to buy that, but that's their logic, right? Like, oh, you guys all like Assassin's Creed, or you guys all like this fighting game, or this first-person shooter. These are the biggest things, right? Fortnite is probably going to get woke if it already hasn't been. I don't know. I don't play it. And so, like, that's what they'll do. They just go change the game, and that's what they've been doing. This is why I say, you know, people like, oh, yeah, Anita, we got her, man. You know, the Quartering and John De La Rose. They're wrong. Like, you guys don't understand how this works, man. She doesn't have her channel anymore because she doesn't need it. She's working for the companies now. She's probably making fucking big bucks just telling people to make games less fun. That's basically her job. So yeah, this is why I like playing older games, because it, you know, the woke shit wasn't really there. So there you go. Teal Deer says, FemFreak was a grift to launch her consultancy career. She's playing the Woman Studies as Virus game, as outlined by Foz 2016. Getting at the highest echelon and force change. It's all about power. Yes, the left always works this way. Always top down. If they can't get and they don't even really try to start at the bottom. Like, they generally just scold the people at the bottom. Oh, you guys are sexist. You guys are this or that. But then they just go right to the top. And so people like, you know, Neil Druckmann, they just bend the knee, or whoever's at EA or DICE or Ubisoft, or like basically all of the big Western companies. Rockstar, they're woke. I'm sorry, guys. I know you think that like the GTA is edgy, but it's gone. It's been woke for a while. I mean, you know, like all of the fun is gone. Blizzard, completely woke. Completely woke. You know, I bet, because like we covered the Wizard story, okay? Warhammer Volkut is the first new game that delivered what I paid for in years. Yeah, is that out already? I kind of want to get it, but it's not really in the budget. You know, my wife just started going part-time because she couldn't handle the stress of her job, and it wasn't really like paying a ton, but she does want to bring some in. But Lindsay and I want to do our own show, our own channel and content. Teal says, seriously, oh shit. Look up the study, Women's Studies as Virus, Institutional Feminism, Effect, and the Projection of Danger. I will. That might be a good thing to cover on the show. Thanks, Teal. But yeah, my point is, though, is that, like, declaring, you know, like, victory over what, you know, you just don't know what the feminists are trying to do. Like, it's all about power. It always was. Oh, shit. Zangief is bad guy. That does not mean Zangief is bad guy. This proper paper theorizes. Oh, I'll pause it. Get on his neck. This paper theorizes that one future pedagogical priority of women's studies is to train students not only to master the body of knowledge, but also to serve as symbiotic or symbolic viruses that infect, upset, unsettle, and disrupt traditional and entrenched fields. Feminism is a virus. Yeah, it's not. It's obviously not a meme. Leftism is a virus. You know, this falls in line with all the other stuff too. I mean, you know, one thing that we debate on the show is whether or not it started with feminism, and that all of the other stuff like race grifting and queer theory and shit is a byproduct of it. I don't really think it matters. I mean, you could, like, you know, you can try to set up the timeline a number of different ways, but I do think that feminism is the most effective means to set people against each other and divide and you know, infect things. So, also, stream note, check your leveling. Game input is a lot louder than mic input. Okay, let me do that real quick. Thanks for telling me. Maybe I can change speaker for controller. No, that's not what I want to do. Hold on a second. I will raise my microphone level much higher and see if that helps. It says it's too high, but let me know how that sounds. Thanks, Teal Deer. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think. There isn't much delay, so you should be hearing me now, because I'm watching the stream as I'm talking to you guys. But let's see how this goes. So, oh, is that all right? it. Oh no! Oh my god, that was close. But yeah, that's so yeah, no, she's basically getting what she wants. So let's not rest on our laurels. You know, I tried to explain this. There was another thing too that really pissed me off. I want to know what Teal Deer's thoughts are on this. So like, the Barbie movie came out, and I know it's at first glance you would think, well, this is a really stupid movie to even, you know, like respond to or take seriously. But I think there is something that the reason why I thought it was important to discuss was because I did feel that there was something important about it because of the messaging, right? And so we covered it in a couple of times on the channel. I don't know if you saw the videos, because I know we did one with Karen. It was like 3 hours long, and I was like, well, nobody's gonna watch this. It's too fucking long, you know, unless you're on a road trip or something and you want to hear it. But the thing is that I have seen Brett Cooper, who is a right-wing, I guess, like commentator, and I saw Shoe on Head, who is definitely a left-wing commentator, and they both liked it. And they both thought that, you know, it's like a Rorschach test, and like, you know, you're gonna find out what people's biases are based on, you know, like what they think about it, and all of this like garbage takes. I just thought they were garbage takes. And then, like, you know, obviously, like, some people may have gone a little too far the other way. Like, I don't really care about Ben Shapiro's like review because it didn't really say much. But we had to watch it ourselves, and I got to tell you that I mean, like, it's not a good movie or whatever. But the thing that I noticed is that doesn't really matter, and that's one of the things that I think that a lot of people miss. It doesn't matter how you decide to interpret it. What matters is what the bulk of normie, low information women are going to take away from it, and the fact is, it's a feminist movie for them. So, like, you know, I was talking to Allison about it, and, you know, she was saying, well, you know, here, if you put it like this, logically, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that doesn't matter. Like, the average normie woman is going to watch it, and they're going to walk away from it, and it's going to be like a women have it really bad narrative, period. There's no, it doesn't matter how you analyze it. And then I saw, like, I was talking to my wife about it. Like, we kind of went, because she was trying to figure out how to, like, not see it the way I saw it, and I was like, no, it's an absolutely, like, it's not just an anti-male movie. It's an anti-love movie. It's an anti-family movie. It's an anti-children movie. It's an anti-society movie. Okay, but it's dressed up in this, and, like, you know, I don't even think it's clever personally. People think Greta Gerwig is some kind of genius for some reason. I don't think it's even clever. It's really obvious. And there's no, like, you know, secret meaning to it. It's just that. It's just a vitriolic, like, poisonous sentiment about society by an angry woman who is married. I don't know if she has kids, but apparently she doesn't want love for anyone but herself. And normie women are watching this film. This is how I know this is the problem. Normie women are watching this film. Single moms are watching this film. They're bringing their daughters to it. That even though the marketing lied to them about what the movie was actually about, it's not like some funny, you know, movie about, like, oh, look at all the, like some kind of Memberberry film or anything like that. It's just, that's just the Trojan horse for, like, all of their feminist crap that they're bringing in. And that's what they're walking away with. And then I saw, like, Michael Knowles. He was like, I'm going to review the Barbie movie. And my wife likes Michael Knowles. I mean, I think he's all right most of the time. And so he says that he loves it. He thinks it's, like, a really conservative movie. And I'm like, no, you are a moron. And, like, I saw his explanation. And I was like, dude, I know that you think you're really smart. I know that you think you're really smart, but you do not you're so intelligent, your IQ is so galaxy brain that you don't realize what normal people are going to walk away from this with. That it's got nothing to do with how intelligent you think you are. You can't convince someone who is just bought into what the film's like on the surface messages, which is basically how it's wearing it on its sleeve, right? You cannot try to convince, actually, it's a conservative movie. No, it is not. And you know how I know? Because the women all over social media, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, all over social media, okay, women are sharing the clip of America Ferrera giving that speech at the end of the film where she just lists off all of the ways that women have it worse and that society is mean to them and all of that. She just and that's what they and they go, oh, I feel this so much. Oh, yes, that's so me. Oh, and on top of that, they're like making their boyfriends or husbands watch it, and they're shit testing them with this film to see if they agree. And if they don't, then there's going to be problems. And people have been like, women have dumped their men, their boyfriends, over this film. Okay. So it doesn't matter how, like, I don't care about your 9,000 IQ, like, take on the movie being based. It's ridiculous. You're a fucking moron. You're buying into it. Just tell people, please stay away. I'm not going to say it's satanic or anything, but it's definitely not a good movie. And it's not a good movie for, not just for little girls. It's not a good movie for anyone. It's like, it's anti everything. It's like misanthropic. I'm sorry, but it is. All right, let me see these, what you guys are saying. There's probably an element of uninformed people trying to do easy subjects as well. Looking at it and seeing how feminism screws itself doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the woozle. Why do they still reference wage gap, pink tax, men oppress women forever, etc.? Yes. The proper ending would have been Barbie realizes how she's been treating Ken, and Ken and Barbie are trying to work out their differences. Yeah, I mean, yes, they could have, but again, why didn't they? Why is it like the Ken doll, and I mean, I hate to get into like the specifics here, but the Ken doll existed as a toy, as a companion for Barbie. It was literally that. And what they hate about this is important. What they hate about this is that it suggests marriage, it suggests heterosexuality, it suggests men and women like getting along, even though Ken is in the supportive role, technically, according to the toy line, because it is a toy for girls. It's not enough, right? It's not enough. So it's like absolutely just not like what these super intelligent people think. It's shoe on head. It's not a fucking Rorschach test. Sometimes a spade is just a spade. And you don't get to say, well, I saw it like this, therefore it's like this. No, there is such a thing as objective reality, and I'm in objective reality, and I'm telling you that's what this is. Greta Gerwig, if you interview her, she might just confess to that, but then again, she might not. She might just say, well, what do you think it means? And then basically just sell more tickets. And I'm just like, and you know what else? As an aside, I think that did you notice, and I know this was fake, I know this was totally like astroturfed, okay, but when Barbie and Oppenheimer were coming out, this Barbieheimer meme came out, and everyone was talking about it, and it was all over the internet, and I guarantee that it was artificially propped up as a meme to distract people from the Sound of Freedom. Because when the Oppenheimer thing, or Barbieheimer thing started, it became the new conversation, and nobody was talking about Sound of Freedom anymore. And I bet that was absolutely on purpose. By the way, Oppenheimer still also not as great as people think. It's, I mean, well-made film, but way too long, and there's too much making McCarthyism scary in it. Sorry, but McCarthy was right, and he didn't get to finish his job. That's why we're in this situation that we're in. So, just pointing it out. Sorry, guys, if you thought that McCarthyism was crazy deep state stuff. No, the work was not done. I think that should be obvious. But anyway, the proper, even if Teal Deer says, even if the movie is secretly ultra-based, which it isn't, yeah. is no one can see that message, and they only take away that surface level pro-feminist message. Then the esoteric underlay is irrelevant. Yeah, I know exactly. It's not the art films, like, I wouldn't call Barbie an art film, but a film that's trying to say something should not have to hide it under layers and layers and layers. You know, like Tolkien's books are pretty straightforward, and there is more to look at. There's more to explore thematically, but like it doesn't like, it's not like exploring those books deeper flips the script completely. So no, I'm sorry. That's just not the case. Boda says it's so misandric that some people think it's a parody. They're being serious. I know. They think, well, nobody could actually believe this. Actually, yes, they could. Like, women will believe this. Women will believe this. And I said, like, when the first weekend came and it made as much money as it did, I think Oppenheimer might have made a little bit more, but I don't think it did, because its runtime is a lot longer, which means fewer showings per day. So it may not have, but it did. Oppenheimer made a lot of money too. But the point is that after the first week, I said, okay, it made a lot of money, but maybe, because I think this is fair, maybe that's because the marketing lied. It basically said, it didn't say anything about this being a feminist film at all. It never said it. It was just like, pink toys, Barbie, Ken, how funny are they? Look at that, in the real world, herpy derp, right? No feminist messaging was obvious. Then you know, and you think, oh, this is for kids, and then you go and there's, like, you know, references to homosexual activity. There's abortion references. There's, like, people talking about their private parts and stuff that, like, an 8-year-old girl, probably not appropriate, but they don't care because they're groomers, right? So they're okay with sexualizing children, and they're okay with deceiving their audience. So I thought, well, okay, maybe the first week it'll make a lot of money, and then there'll be like a sharp drop off. Nope, it still made good money the second weekend too, which means that women went and watched this fucking movie, and then they went back to their friends and said, you know what, I liked it. And then some of these, like, fence-sitting cowards said, well, I don't want to come across as overly sensitive about a movie about a toy, so I'm not going to, like, say anything extreme. It's like, all you got to do is say, look, this film is not for kids, and it's shit. Like, I'm not losing sleep over that. I'm not losing sleep over that. I'm not triggered, guys. You know, having an opinion that's not positive doesn't mean you're triggered. This is the problem with culture junkies. They can't... It's like they don't want to have, like, I don't know, like a critical view of anything, because they don't want to come across as, like, overly analytical. And it's like, well, sometimes, you know, you should be discerning. Like, this is, like, that's what this is about. So anyway, so it made a lot of money, and I said, well, if this movie makes money the next week, it's gonna teach us something that we should know about the average woman, and what they think about men, and what they think about society, and what they think about their own lives. Sure enough, that's what happened. So, you know, gentlemen, I regret to inform you that women. Okay. I even told my wife, I was like, this movie's still making money. She was like, I don't understand women. So, okay. Telia says, artist intent is a thing, but if the entire audience sees it different, what matters more for wider society, and how will history remember it? Yeah, exactly. I mean, Greta Gerwig could come out and say, no, I didn't mean for it to be seen that way. It wouldn't make a difference. Like, women are going to take out of it what they want. That's the thing. Like, people will talk about how, you know, there's all these other themes and these events, and they'll cherry pick a scene or a quote or something, but that doesn't matter, because what women are sharing, what women are talking about, is the speech that America Ferrera gives at the end of the film. That's the only thing that women care about. That is what speaks to them, and you put that in there, and I know it's on purpose. Obviously, nothing happens in a film by accident. So there you go. Now we know what women think. Tildeer says, like, if we look at Greco-Roman myth, every story is sun worship and track the sun's path. However, the surface interpretation is the heroics of the characters. Which interpretation do people know? The heroics of the characters, yes. A Norwegian says, Barbie and Ken going to the real world could work if done in good faith. Well, yeah, sure. I'll say that, obviously, as a concept, it could work as a film. Okay, there it is. As a concept, it could work. The thing is, though, you would have to just approach it as something that is having fun with the intellectual property. For example, we had Barbie in Toy Story, right? Like she was a character in Toy Story 2, and she's in like the toy store, and she's giving a tour to the other toys in Toy Story. And it's funny because they do a really good job. She's smiling all the time. She's like a tour guide, Barbie, I think is what they call it. And she drives them around in her car and whatever, right? That's funny. It kind of like makes me think of I always compare it to like something like the Brady movie. If you guys remember the movie based on the Brady Bunch, where the characters in the very Brady movie are all behaving like they did on the show, but they're like it's like a fish out of water thing, where they're like in, you know, like the modern world for the time, like the 90s or whenever the movie came out, and because you know, they're dressed like they were in the 60s and 70s, and they're saying all the same things, and but for whatever reason they're really likable, and it works, right? It's like Elf. It's like or I guess there was a movie that Disney made that I didn't watch, that where like a Disney princess goes to the real world. And so she's acting like a princess would in the real world, and it's just a little gags and fun. But this movie doesn't do that. It does it like at points. It does a little bit of it, but it doesn't stick to the gimmick to make an entertaining story. And then they could probably explore some stuff. But again, the problem is that I don't want to get too religious or sound religious, but there is something overly materialistic about feminist view of the world. It's a very materialist view. When I say material, I don't mean like, you know, consumerist, although that's a part of materialism. It's like there is only the material world, and like, you know, the brain and all these things that they put focus on, and because feminists are not the brightest people, they tend to overly focus on cultural things. There's like, I don't think that there's such a thing as an article or an essay or a piece written by a feminist that doesn't make a reference to something in our culture, like television or film or products or whatever. Like, I don't think, or music, whatever it is, that is what they are glued to. And I think the reason is partly because it worked for them, because a lot of other people don't focus on culture. They look at, you know, maybe they're looking at philosophy, maybe they're looking at history, maybe they're looking at different dynamics, right? But because feminists and leftists, they tend to be really, really focused on culture, especially popular culture. That's what they'll use to sort of like make statements, broad statements about the world, which is weird because most of our popular culture is also made by leftists, so it's already going through their lens. And then you have people observing that and saying, oh, you know, this thing is sexist or racist or whatever. To a feminist, there is only the flesh, the mind is unimportant. Yeah. Well, that's also why our feminists always focus with things like their genitals, right? Even the Barbie movie ends up focusing on genitals, because of course it does. The only thing that makes a woman is her vagina, apparently. But even now, today, that's not enough, because men have vaginas too. Voda says, remember that feminist comedy skit YouTube channel that published a video mocking people for complaining about radical feminism? And in the comments, most were just saying that they can't tell if... I guess he's going to give me another part to that. The materialism of feminism is, I think, third wave, and explains the clash between TERFs and progs. Feminism is a religion. Why am I not seeing the other half of that in here? I will in a moment. Okay, let me see if I can beat Ken. I like Poison, but I'm not great with her. So. Oops, sorry, Ken.
んじゃないよ。
Daisy Dukes, though.
Let's keep it up. Fight.
Like she's wearing nothing at all. Oh. Ooh. Yeah. All right. Boda says number 2. They're oh, can't tell if they're joking or not. But the only comment that was hearted was the one mocking the people, saying that this is how feminists actually. Why is it? I'm not getting the whole comment.
Destination
A
confirmed.
Norwegian, like, but yeah, I think again, it does. Perception in this case is probably more important than whatever the intention is. This went from Honey Badger Arcade to Honey Badger Livestream for a solid half hour. Well, no, that's what Honey Badger Arcade is. Like, it's like the point of it is that you're supposed to talk about things while we're playing games, or while I'm playing games, and like hopefully, you know, we can do. Oh, Scout's with his sunglasses. I don't know what like. Oh, motherfucker. No. Going through feminist history, it has strong spiritual elements coming from theosophy. Hence, women are women, and women's ways of knowing is strongly spiritual. Yeah, it is like a religion in that way, for sure. I mean, they're like Gaia worshippers, and they're into like the, you know, Jezebel and like Lilith shit. But I think it's all comes down to like what serves their purposes. It's not really like, I don't think they're like true believers in that sense, or at least like if they like religions, it's not Christianity. Oh, yeah, that's how, yeah, exactly. I've kind of wasted that. I probably didn't have to do that.
Who will emerge victorious? Fight!
How does that get me? I should know better. All right.
You win!
In other words, feminists idolize women who cause their men's downfall. Oh yeah, they love that. I dated a girl like in the 90s. Really hot, great sex, but fucking huge feminist. I thought that was the norm. Like all the girls I ended up with were feminists. I think it is actually the norm for most people. That's why, I mean, I think that's also the norm for supposedly conservative women too, because like it's basically like it's so inculcated into our culture. It's so mainstream. There's nothing, you know, it's just the norm, you know. It doesn't like, oh shit. Oh no. Weird super, but a cool one. Night Night Duke Nukem. Yeah, we're not gonna get that again. That's another one. You know, I bet the reason why Duke Nukem as a brand is like kind of dead. I think that a lot of it does have to do with the fact that it's not like playing nice by the ESG thing. It's intentionally supposed to be like, you know, pretty raunchy and like politically incorrect. So that's not allowed. Remember this boss on the fight, Ronto? Guess what?
You win!
The reason most feminists don't know they're religious in nature is because they're neophytes in the religion. Yeah.
Unknown. Crumbling laboratory.
I'm like waiting for the live chat to catch up. I don't know why. Oh, maybe it's because I don't know why that is. I thought that the live chat in the PS4 thing would come up before it comes up here, but beats me. I don't know how this works. I did all right with Poison. I mean, like I don't really get to play her very much, so I thought I did all right.
Get started! Fight!
It's like those heels. Oh no, no! What? Oh no! Got him. I think it'd be cool if Street Fighter did more of an open world like Zelda Breath of the Wild, have your character develop as the game progresses, fighting different characters. I don't know if that works with fighting games. I mean, I get it, but like, the thing is, I don't know, man. I don't know that it works with fighting games. Maybe a beat 'em up would be okay. I wouldn't mind it. I like beat 'em up. Oh. Oh my god, that. What an asshole. Boom! That does a lot of damage. I mean, is it a kick in the nuts, so I don't know what to do. Oh, I accidentally jumped. I didn't mean to do that. That's alright, that's alright.
Pull out all the stuff! Fight!
Yeah. Oh, and I didn't know I could do that. I think so you can juggle off of that projectile. Give me the prize. So, does this microphone sound better or worse than the wired one? So I have this like little, I'm just showing you guys, you can see it. It's like sticking out the bottom right there. I'm gonna tap it, maybe you'll hear that sound, I don't know. Does that sound worse? Because I kind of like that it's like there's nothing on my ear and, you know, just messing with me. So let me know if it sounds okay. So, okay, Tildeer, I want to read his, because I can see his longer comment now. Going through feminist history, it had strong spiritual elements coming from theosophy, hence women are women and women's ways of knowing. It's strongly spiritual, Hegelian, yeah, that's right, Hegel. Boda says, I just remembered what the term I was looking for is, Poe's Law. The video is basically Poe's Law, and the comments pointed that the only comment that was given a heart by the channel was the one making fun of the comments pointing out Poe's Law. Yeah, maybe you could try a better quality one. Well, I don't know. I mean, I have. Okay, yeah. I could swap it. Hold on a second. I'm gonna go get a refill of coffee too. I'll be right back. Okay. Is that better? Let me check it here. Testing, testing, testing. Okay, Onwaifu says much better. Sorry about that. Oh well. I thought I would try that, but I guess it's not working. Maybe it's better if I was doing like multiplayer but not streaming. Okay. Did you guys hear what I was talking about before then? I mean, before I switched microphones. Just in time to see the ending. I'll do one more game. We'll try it. Audio can be a pain, yeah, no.
survival of the fittest on a global scale. Who among the challengers will make it to the top?
Let's do... M. Bison, I guess. There we go. Get a fast character? I mean, Bison's not too slow. I did play Chun-Li earlier, but... Yes, yes! You know, Capcom's tried to change the final bosses in Street Fighter. You know, they gave us Sagat, they gave us Gil from Street Fighter 3 and like Seth, but Bison is you can't top Bison. Like, he's the best boss.
The fight card is filled in. Which of these warriors will prove their strength to the world?
I think the design for Bison 2 is based on there was this old anime called Doomed Megalopolis, I think. I think the Bison character is based on the main villain from that show or that anime, but I don't know. That was like a long time ago. I remember Tekken was all the rage. I had Tekken 7. I was pretty good. I'm pretty good at that. I'm the best M. Bison probably.
And the battle continues.
Oh, he's the best final boss of any fighting game, really. I mean, I love Heihachi Mishima, and like, I think some of them are lazy. You know what kind of characters I hate the most? Are the ones that basically just have everybody else's moves. I hate those. Those are lazy ideas. Ooh. Okay. Oh shit. Oh no, you don't. Oh boy. Pretty sure he killed him. That was like a Dragon Ball move. He looks like a JoJo character. Bison does? I don't know about that. Bison's look is a little too like uniform. It's not crazy. It's not showing enough skin. You gotta get some midriff in there or something like. Oh man, I used to be pretty good with Bison too, but I'm kind of sloppy. That was kind of sloppy. I get Jotaro 5 vibes. Everybody in Street Fighter is shredded. Oh, good. Knock the wind out of him. The Honda is literally obese but has a six-pack. I ain't hating. Come on, Jojo. I'll feed you in a little bit, okay? Jojo wants to eat. Come on, up here. Up here, come on. Jojo, come on.
It's the battle of the century. Fight! KO!
Poor DJ.
What will happen now? Fight!
I love that throw. Done fucked up. His physique has the properties of both gum and rubber. Bison has strong von Stroheim energy, or the other way around. Either way, German science is pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know what, I don't know, Bison appears to be a military guy, but I don't know what country. Shadaloo, I guess. Shadaloo has a militaristic setup. I just think he looks fucking dope. That's what I think. It's an aesthetic. Come here. Get them legit axe kicks. I love playing Bison, to be honest. Again, a better character than... I mean, Sagat is a good character, don't get me wrong. But better character than Gil, a better character than Akuma, a better character than, well, whoever the final boss of Fight 5 was. No, he can take it off. Not bad.
You win!
Bison's always sending people to hell. I don't think that's how it works. Close as fuck, yeah. Rufus is pretty good. I played Rufus because people, like my friends were hating on him because they thought he was so silly, and I was like, I'm gonna make this guy work. Rufus is pretty good. He's like Chris Farley, you know? A lot more like physical and faster than you think he is. Oh, poison. Dude, look like a lady.
だね。
Punch you right in the baby maker. Straight shot. I wonder how Dante would do in the Street Fighter game. Well, I have, he's in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I have that. He's in that game. Nero is too. Dante from Devil May Cry, yeah. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 has Nero, Dante. Nero's the brother, right? Dante's brother. But it's got some. Those characters are good, but you know who's really kind of cool? Well, Strider, Zero from the Mega Man X game. Nemesis is pretty cool from Resident Evil, and Chris Redfield is also pretty. I like Chris Redfield. Phoenix Wright is on there. He's good too. Nero is Dante's nephew. Oh, Virgil. Virgil is the one. I'm thinking about Virgil, not Nero. Virgil, yeah. I got the names mixed up. Sorry. Sorry, I'm not up on my lore. Oh shit. Ooh, Kylie Minogue fucked me up. Hang on, didn't Bison split his soul in two and the good half of his soul manifests in another character? Yes, Rose. Who is literally based on a JoJo character. Rose, it was in the Alpha series, and she is based on Lisa. So, I don't know what Bison is or what, like, but he is a reference to the guy from Doom Megalopolis. I don't know if you guys know about that anime. Literally made his own stand so he could be more evil, yeah. I also love the voice actor for Bison too. What's his name? Wakarimoto or something like that. Anyway, he does the voice for Perfect Cell in the Dragon Ball. That's what most people know him for, but...
Are you ready? Fight!
Get out of here. Slick my hair back. He's got slick cut. Oh shit. Not bad. Oh my goodness. No, sir.
You win!
I tried to do that ultimate to grab her Vagoo, but she didn't let me. To Bison, no means yes.
Destination confirmed.
Did they ever do a crossover with Alucard? No. Are you talking about, like, what do you mean a crossover? You mean like Castlevania Alucard, or like the one from Hellsing, or what? Because Castlevania is owned by Konami, not Capcom, so they would have to like work something out. I think that Nintendo, when they did the Smash Brothers, that last one, Ultimate or whatever, they were signing a lot of contracts. They're making a lot of deals. So. Nigga, you work for me. You know that, right? Oh, okay. One of the other things about Bison I like is that everything makes him smile. I might get fucked up. I jumped right into that. Ooh. Not bad. If you listen to the voice, I don't know if you guys have watched JoJo in Japanese, but the voice of Seth is the voice of Wamuu from the Pillar Men. The characters of Urien, Seth, and Gil from Street Fighter is based on the Pillar Men. That's why they're all like totally shredded. Mistake. I want to know where they get the idea of Bison like standing on your head as damage. Where they get that from? They're not as fabulous, no, as the Custodians, no. Oh my god. Shit. Son of a bitch.
You lose.
I was doing well with him though.
The world's fiercest fighters awaits. Will you be the last warrior standing?
When you're watching me play, pay attention to Bison's facial expressions, because that nigga's always smiling. He thinks everything is funny.
It's the battle of the centuries. Fight!
Not bad. Oh, that slide kick. See, that I was lucky that hit because that slide kick is not a good attack to do. I'd like just to open up with it. You gotta watch out for that slide kick. I mean, pulling it off and missing because it'll hurt you. Oh shit! That was my mistake. Got him. Some of these fight moves are utterly ridiculous. I love it. Oh yeah, totally. Totally ridiculous. I came to bring the pain. These endings are nothing really, but I'm okay with that because I don't think fighting games they should have like the deepest story. I mean, like enough to like get this, you know, because like essentially when you're making a fighting game, the most important thing in my opinion is the roster. So you have to have like a variety of characters. And if you can make those characters interesting, then, you know, in whatever way, I think that's a big plus. But then you have to make a story work for that. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I don't think I think for RPGs a really good story is obviously like paramount, but I do think in the modern, like in our modern sort of like climate or landscape of gaming, the problem with the focus on story is that you're gonna get like progressive, woke, feminist garbage stories most of the time because, and even in Japan, before you say anything, even in Japan, they're not free from that, and it's only gonna get worse, you know, in those places. But like, I can't play Western RPGs because they all have that. Like, you know, I for sure. What's the name of that game? I've been trying to remember the name of it. Anita Sarkeesian worked on it. It's you're like an assassin. It's like a first-person game, and you can do magic and stuff. And they made a sequel to it. I can't remember the name of it. I think Anita made a video about it too. But like, it's a first-person game. You have spells and like all these different ways you can do things. It's I gotta feed the dog, so I've got to get up. But if you guys can remind me, I'll be right back. I'm not quitting just yet. I'll be back. Jojo, shush. Sorry. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it came out on last gen consoles, I think. It was pretty popular. There was Dishonored. Thank you. That's it. Dishonored. Yes, she worked on that game. Yes, Dishonored. That's the one I was trying to remember. I'm glad you guys remembered it. It was like really... Anyway. The stories for these, you know, like I've been playing this game called no, not Remnant. That I played Remnant, the first one, a while ago. It's this one game that Todd McFarlane worked on. He was the artist, the lead artist on it. Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning, and I've been playing through that. And you know, this game's kind of old because I never played it before. I mean, it's okay. You know, this is the thing about RPGs. I think that this is why I'm a Souls fan, because a lot of like RPGs, they do this thing where they just throw shit tons of loot at you, and you have to like you're just sifting through garbage, and you're looking for something that's just, you know, oh, this one gives me a plus 2% to this thing and 1% to this game. You know, I don't like that. Like that, I used to like Diablo, for example. I think I played Diablo 2, and I liked it at the time, but today I won't play it. I can't take it. Especially Diablo. Diablo is like click, click, click on the enemy till it dies, then grab their loot, sell most of it, or just leave. You just leave piles of treasure everywhere because you can't carry it, you know, and it's all junk. I mean, what is that? Like I'm not a fan. You know, I only like Borderlands because I had friends to play it with, but it's the same problem. You're picking up guns, you know, and they'll use that to sell the game. Oh, there's like 10,000 guns in this game. Yeah, but like the overwhelming majority of them are trash. Like, why wouldn't you just have like a system where you can like make your own weapons? That thing about the Souls series I like is that the treasure list is really short compared to those games like Bloodborne and all that. And it's just like, well, how do you want to build it out, right? Do you want a dex build? Do you want a strength build? Whatever, faith build? And then you just get the weapons for that and you build it out, and then you just use the movesets. So, I don't know, man. I prefer that. But the way these, like, RPGs now, it's just like tons and tons of trash. It's just math. That's like all of the, you know, and I know the loot is just part of it, but then they do the same thing with the monsters. You see a couple of enemies and they're like, whoa, that's interesting. And then they just color swap them and they change their name a little bit and they change some of their abilities. And it's like it's a new monster, but it looks just like the other one, except this one is yellow instead of the one that was red, you know? It's lazy. Norwegian, every time I played Borderlands, I'd always get trash ass loot without fail. Yeah, that's like most of the loot in all the Borderlands games. I've played all of them. And
by Capcom.
I'll be right back. I'm going to say something about Borderlands. I got to feed Jojo. I was just thawing his food out, so I'll be right back. Okay. It's filler. Yeah, it's lazy though. I think there should be I think that they could handle it a lot better. And I had no idea she worked on Dishonored. Yeah, she worked on it, but I think that was when she was sort of starting out. I think that she had a lot more influence on like The Last of Us Part 2. I mean, like, they literally, you know, she was taking pictures with Neil Druckmann. He mentioned her in, like, a presentation he did, you know. It was clear, like, the first Last of Us, which I could play through that because I like the first game. The first Last of Us had a completely different feel. And it wasn't just, it was Neil Druckmann worked on it, but he also worked on it with a woman named Heather Haying, I think, who was a great writer. Like and it was a woman too, so, you know, she worked on the Legacy of Kain series, which you guys might know. I played the shit out of Legacy of Kain, and I played a lot of the Soul Reaver. I don't know if I got into Soul Reaver 2. I can't remember because it was so long ago. But definitely Legacy of Kain. I was hooked on that game. And she wrote the story, and that was a really good story, right? And she also worked on the Uncharted series, which, for what it is, like, it's kind of a pulpy adventure story. That the Uncharted games are also really good. But and she worked on The Last of Us Part 1, the first Last of Us game, which you can see was a story about, like, you know, fatherhood, and there was this relationship between this woman, this girl without like a family, and this guy without a daughter, and they bond, and it's very touching, you know, and it all comes together just really, really well. And I could tell that Heather Heying was doing that. But when they made the sequel, Heather Heying wasn't involved at all. I think she got pushed out of the company or something. You know, like she was like not working with them anymore. I don't know what she's doing now, but Neil Druckmann was basically the guy, he was the mind behind the story for The Last of Us Part 2, and he just threw everything out. He basically was like, oh, you know, Ellie is mad because Joel lied to her, and Joel was being selfish, and he was actually the villain of the first game. Just butchered the story. And so, I mean, you probably saw Mike J and I went through The Last of Us Part 2, like when it came out way back, you know, like at least a year ago or so. Just awful handling of it. And so, like, I know that that's, you know, where we're headed story-wise, right? So let me look at your comments really quick. Let's see. A Norwegian says, I'd love something like Oblivion with less bugs and better gameplay. I didn't really get into those. I did play Fallout 3, and I thought it was fine. I heard that New Vegas is better, but I was never really a big Fallout fan. I was never really a big Oblivion fan. Western RPGs, I just, you know, like when I played I'm playing Kingdoms of Amalur, I don't feel like a sense of urgency or story, because everything just kind of like is sitting there waiting to be done. The loot system isn't much fun. I don't like these kind of randomly generated loot systems where you get like just tons of junk. The stories are just fine. Like there's nothing that really stands out, you know. The Last of Us, Boda says, The Last of Us could have been an amazing franchise. Yes, absolutely, it could have been. Again, the first one was great. I wish Heather Heying was, I don't know if that's her name. If you guys remember this woman's name, look up the author of the story for either Uncharted or Legacy of Kain. Blood Omen, the first Legacy of Kain, with Simon Templeman as Kain. Fucking good, man. Josh Chasen says, developers and people harp on how generous the loot in Borderlands was, which I didn't get because I'm too ADD for anything RPG. I like video games for set pieces. Yeah. You know, when you put, like, Borderlands is cool. Like, I was playing Borderlands 3, right? And I finished the game, but I didn't have anybody to play with. I didn't have any friends. So it sucked. Like, when you're playing by yourself, it's not really a good game. But what was worse is when I did start trying to find people to pair up with, I paired up with this one guy, and he gave me this gun, and it was so fucking broken. It must have been a glitch. It was the most powerful gun that I've ever had by far, and it basically didn't run out of ammunition. And I was just like, I mean, I just beat everything with it, and I was like, I was bored. Like, if you get something like that, it ruins the whole game for you. And I didn't have to use my abilities or anything. It was this gun that just shot like confetti or something that just damaged everything. And it did all the damage types. And he gave it to me and then just left, you know. And I was like, well, what is this? And I was like, wow, that's powerful. And at first you're like, oh shit, you know, it's like a kid with, you know, with I don't know, with a new toy. But then I realized that the game was ruined for me. Like, even if I got rid of it, you know, it was just over, because it was like you could see through everything. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think games like that, it's gotta be. That's why I'm a Souls person. That's why, because I know that there's a very short list of loot, and you know, you're gonna take it, and you're gonna take the crafting materials, of which there is also a limited amount. You can't really farm that much, right? I mean, you can, but it's kind of not worth it. Like, you get like one thing, you focus on that, and that's your build, and then you go with it. And I think that's better because they can spend more time. Developers can spend more time on the environments and like the setting and shit like that. And I think that that's another thing too, is that, you know, after playing like Fallout 3, after playing some of Skyrim and Kingdoms of Amalur, and I don't know, Remnant, you know, stuff like that, everything starts looking the same. Like, the environments don't feel different. And I think that the Souls series does a better job. I'm not saying it's great, but I think they do a much better job of making the environments feel like they're unique. And you know, if somebody takes a screenshot, aside from a Chalice dungeon in Bloodborne, if somebody takes a screenshot of their character in an environment, most people who play those games will be like, I know where that is, right? Like, not just what map or what was set, what stage, but like where in the map they are. And I think that is a sign, to me anyway, of good design. This is why I'm excited for Armored Core, by the way, Armored Core 6. It's going to be great. So, Tealier says, Steam just updated to remind us of the existence of Baldur's Gate 3, aka the game with the gay bear sex. Oh, shit. So, Tealier, I wanted to play Baldur's Gate 3. I didn't know that, but I wanted to play Baldur's Gate 3 because I wanted to make I don't know if you can do this, but I know in like some of the older ones, I wanted to make a party and all the characters be people from Honey Badger Radio. So like me, a character for me, a character for Mike, a character for Hannah and Allison and Karen, and then like pick a class and a race and try to make it look like them. And maybe, I think that mods might let you do this, but we can even put like some voice mods in there for when, you know, they say something, or when they attack, or when they die or take damage. I know that like there was some old PC games where you could do that. You could change the portraits, you can change all these things. I don't know if they'll allow that, but now that I know that Baldur's Gate 3 has gay bear sex in it, I don't know. Maybe I should be, there was another game made by a different developer that's sort of like D&D that a lot of people were praising. I can't remember the name of it right now, though. Boda says, well, thank you for that. Boda says, or no, I'm sorry, a Norwegian says, Jank will love that game. Yeah, probably. Boda says, when they came out with that Rainbow DLC, I saw the writing on the wall. What Rainbow DLC? For what game? The Last of Us was infected by feminism and ESG. Tolkien was spot on. What do you mean Tolkien was spot on? Did he like predict this? I mean, I know that his intellectual property is getting dragged through the mud too, so. A Norwegian says, I get what you mean, Brian. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I would like better Western RPGs than a Western European aesthetic. Most Western games are woke these days. No, I agree. See, okay, let me shit on Japanese RPGs for a second, so you guys don't think that I'm biased. Okay, so problem is that Japanese RPGs used to be really, there was a lot of variety, and they were very, you know, you especially Squaresoft. Square had like a number of different IPs. You know, they had like Saga Frontier. They had there was this great game, like a dungeon crawler RPG. That I can't remember from PS1 days. They had Final Fantasy Tactics. They had just a bunch of different things. Now it's only Final Fantasy. It seems like all they have is Final Fantasy, you know. So and Final Fantasy, every Final Fantasy plot is the same. It's all Star Wars. So you know, it's always the same. So not interested. And now they're like dipping back in the well of their old stuff, and that, you know, like Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I played. And they're trying to change it, but you know, I don't know. Like the creative well is a little dry over at Squaresoft, and I think in general the Japanese RPGs too. So we need fresh blood. Maybe there has to be a Crash, is what I'm saying. The Souls games actually feels more Western than games made by the West. Yeah, that's true. Miyazaki likes him some Berserk and Dark Fantasy, and I think that the Souls series and Bloodborne are very good examples of that, and I enjoy them quite a bit. I love Bloodborne. I love it. You know, I have this demo for this game coming out called Lies of P, where you play as Pinocchio. It's basically Bloodborne though, like, but it's a demo. But it's a pretty long demo. It's got a lot in it. Teal Dare, the thing is, do druids having sex in their animal form has been a meme question for players in every RPG that has shapeshifting, but having the devs straight up saying yes ruins it. Yeah, well, that's another thing. I can go into a long digression about what's wrong with the tabletop community in terms of Dungeons & Dragons and other tabletop games, but I've been like beating the drum on that for years, because I used to be like, I used to go to all the conventions, and you know, I would try the demos and I would like run games for people. I don't want anything to do with it now. It's all like, I'm sorry, but I don't want to come across as stuffy, but it's way too degenerate and perverse now. I mean, before, you know, you could like joke about it and people would have a chuckle and then they get back to playing the game. Now they want to live this shit out. Like the whole thing about bards just like seducing everything. It's so cringe, guys. So cringe. I'm so over it. And the fact that Baldur's Gate 3 is going to actually like make that a reality. Ugh, come on, guys. Like, what is it with people not understanding why adventures like D&D is a game for adventuring? It's not a game for fucking. Pardon my French, but I mean, like that, you know, like there could be romance and stuff, but the primary purpose of it is to, you know, go on an adventure. That's like the purpose, I think. People can say whatever they want, but that's what I think it is. But I think you let I hate to say it, but you let women in there and they want to alter the dynamics completely. I mean, you know what really sucked, like when it comes to tabletop game, in case you don't know, you know what I think really sucked women in? It wasn't D&D, it was Vampire the Masquerade. When White Wolf created Vampire the Masquerade, women immediately were drawn to it. And then what made it even more popular with women was the LARPing aspect of Vampire the Masquerade, the LARP, which was started in Chicago by a friend of mine. I was not into that at the time, but he started it there, and there were all these like, you know, short, pudgy goth girls that wanted to go to the socialize and pretend to be vampires in this setting. And it was over. I was like, oh shit, this is cancer. It's going to be everywhere. And sure enough, here we are. And now people think that, like, you know, Critical Role is what D&D is like, and the whole thing is cancerous. Like, I don't go to conventions anymore. I haven't been to Gen Con or any convention for that matter in like, I don't know, 10 years. I mean, I just don't go because I don't want anything to do with it. I remember I went once like years ago, and there was a girl at a table, and she was like this, you know, fucking danger hair chick with like black lipstick, and she was trying to control the table, cleavage out, but she was kind of fat, so it wasn't really attractive. And I was sitting there, and I was like, oh my god, this is where we're at now. This is my hobby now. I just want out. So you know, and I'm sorry, I don't do it. Like the community, fuck the community. It's full of wokies. And I get that's why, you know, like I just want to I do tabletop gaming sometimes, but I just do it with my friends, you know. And so I'm sorry that it's everywhere, but that's the nature of the beast. I regret to inform you, women. Okay. Boda says the DLC for The Last of Us 1, they made her into a les. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that was Neil Druckmann's contribution, by the way. Because I don't think that Heather, what's her name? I don't think that she was involved with that. And I agree. I was cringe. Again, why? It was a pointless DLC. It didn't have to be there, but there it was. And it wasn't even fun to play. It was just for that. This is why I don't, when people talk about, oh, you know, like when game reviewers, they review games, what impacts the review a lot, no matter what the genre of game is, whether it's a racing game or an open world game or a first person shooter or a fighting game or whatever, what impacts them, the reviewers a lot, I'm talking about the mainstream reviewers like IGN and GameSpot, is the story. And the reason why they make the story such an important part is because they want to see how progressive it is. And so they judge it based on that. Like there was this game that a friend of mine recommended. It's sort of like a stealth ninja game like Tenchu. And I guess it's just like a series of missions, and the gameplay is really good and everything, but there isn't much of a story. You're just a ninja and you have jobs and you go and assassinate targets and you have to focus on stealth and ninja powers and stuff. And he said it was a really good game, but when I looked at the reviews, IGN didn't like the story, GameSpot didn't like the story, GamerRanks didn't like the story, you know, Games Radar didn't like the story, all of them, right? Because it wasn't woke. It was just, you're a male, I know this is crazy, you're a male ninja and you have to assassinate targets for your, you know, your lord or whatever. And he said it was good and it's fun to play and stuff. But because it's not checking the boxes, and that's how they're going to do it. Like, they're going to look at the story. If the story is sufficiently progressive, if it follows the ESG, if it's abiding by all of their rules, then those will get a higher score, and those will be promoted more, and those will get more sales. And the people who are just trying to make something fun, they're going to get demoted. So, like, that brings about another question. Let me, I don't know if I'm fighting with the volume of this game. Let me lower the volume a little bit. I'm gonna lower the volume on this somewhat, so it's down here. Okay, so anyway, yeah. So I think that's gonna be the primary impact. That's what they've been doing for, like, you know, a few years now, basically. Teal'Zere says the thing is. Oh no, I already read that part. Teal'Zere says the question and implication was far more funny when it was not answered. Yeah, well, we didn't need to know, but of course, some people, they're pervs and they just gotta know. So, a Norwegian says, oh, it's the O Edward O Bella. Teal'Zere says games were better when you limited to disk space, so you had to focus on solid small data mechanics, not being sprawling stories that suck. Sounds way better now. Oh, thank you, Boda. Yeah, I'm sorry, it was loud in my ear too. It was bugging me. But yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. You know, I think that I mean, the direction it's going is not good. But on the plus side, though, I have a bunch of old games. Oh, and here's another thing too: is that, like, some games, like, for example, you mentioned Norwegian. I think it was Norwegian that mentioned the 40K bolt gun game. So this got me thinking. Like, there's a lot of different IPs that people want games made from. I think one of the most, probably the one that's growing in popularity a lot is Warhammer, and especially Warhammer 40K or 40,000. The thing is, it should be the case, and I think this is obvious to most of us, that should not be politically correct. Like, it should not be politically correct, because it's not. But I dread to think that either the developers at these various Games Workshop properties are going to bend the knee to these woke consulting firms, and they're going to change the games even in little ways. You have to be careful, because, you know, a lot of people say, oh, it's a little tiny change, but it's not. Like, that's how this works. You make one little change, and then you make another little change, and then you make another little change, and then suddenly you don't recognize the product anymore. So you can't be forgiving, because they take small steps on purpose. I mean, they've been taking small steps for 100+ years now. So, like, you know, it leads to gigantic leaps. So we have to, like, you know, call it out immediately. I don't think they should compromise, but we will see. So, like, I played Warhammer Vermintide 2. I have that on here. I love it. And I wanted to play Warhammer Darktide. I haven't picked that up yet. I'm not like, I don't know how good it is or whatever, but I want to play that. I think that the games that are uncompromising, so I don't know if Darktide is or not, but the games that are uncompromising with what they're doing or putting out there are the ones that should be supported, so that you're sending a message, right? So it's not just about boycotting, which is not canceling. I mean, I hope you guys understand that. It's not canceling if you don't buy something. You know, I saw, like, somebody post about the Barbie movie, and they were like, you know, men who are trying to cancel Barbie have a problem. It's like, what do you mean? Who's trying to cancel Barbie? You know, not going to the movies to watch it is not canceling it. It's literally just voting with your dollars. Like, every time I don't go to the movie theater, am I canceling whatever's in the movie theater? That doesn't make sense. But that's what they want to do. They want to frame it that way because they want to guilt people or nullify their opponents, right? So I would say it's not just about not buying the garbage, but it's also about like buying the stuff that isn't garbage. Like if it's good, it should be good, right? So I wouldn't buy something crappy just because it's not woke or whatever. But if it is good and you know that it deserves more like attention and you think it should be worth supporting, then I think you should support it and you should tell other people to do the same. So that's what I think. Boda says, sounds way better now. Okay, yeah. Tilder says, then again, you had the magic area of limited space with amazing stories, basically Morrowind and Deus Ex. Yeah, I don't think that space has anything to do with it. See, another problem in the games industry is they're spending way too much money on inconsequential shit. And this is another thing that I've been very critical of for a very long time. I remember some of the best games had no voice acting. It was all text, right? But the gameplay was really deep. I mean, they didn't have the hottest graphics, and part of that is because of the technology of the time, but it was also about how much effort they put in. Another one of the things that I like about the Souls series, for example, is that it has solid graphics, good design, and it has voice acting, but they're not trying to get like celebrities, right? They don't even have celebrity voice actors. I don't know who does the voices on the Souls series. I just know that it's good enough for what it is. And I think that, like, especially in Western developing companies, because I think in Japan, it's like a different thing. Like, all the voice actors, they'll do anything, so it doesn't really matter. There isn't like there doesn't appear to be like a hierarchy, like, oh, this guy's good or this guy's not. They just fill certain roles. Like, they have archetypes and they have voice actors that suit those archetypes, and they just, you know, like in Street Fighter, right? But like in Western games, you know, they're like, oh, we got Kevin Conroy to do Batman, or we got Mark Hamill to do the Joker because we have to, right? And it's like, well, I mean, that's fine if it sounds good, but like, are we putting too much money into it? I remember there was a Call of Duty game, they put Kevin Spacey's likeness in it. Why? Well, because they're trying to make video games more like movies, but they don't have to be. They should be good games. And I think that what happens is that they end up spending so much money on not just the marketing, which is way overdone, because I think most of the time people will market a game to each other if they like it enough, but like they will spend a lot of money on marketing, and they'll spend a lot of money on like celebrity like positions or motion capture, you know, like that was one thing with what is it? I think that Gollum game, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think they actually like motion captured all of Gollum's animations, which is like stupid because like nobody cares, right? But like because is the game good? Like, you know, and this is what they did with Assassin's Creed. This is what they did with a lot of other like Last of Us has a lot of motion capture in it, and all that stuff costs a lot of money, and so you end up spending a lot more money on stuff that isn't as important as the gameplay, as in my opinion. So I will take a game that is a AA, I'll call it a AA game, like Warhammer Vermintide 2 or Space Marine or something, over, you know, say, or even Doom. I thought that, you know, the Doom remake from 2016 was really good. I actually thought it was better than the Doom that came after, which I also have. I thought it was good, but it wasn't as good. I thought Doom 2016 was better. The other one seemed like it's more like you're just moving from like arena to arena. I don't know. It's something about the pacing. But like I'd rather have that. I don't need, you know, like, I don't know. I don't need like an original song by whoever the hot pop artist is, or like voice acting by this famous person. I don't need that. Just give me I want the game to come first, you know? Not all this dressing, like all this presentation stuff. I think that artificially inflates the budget, and then that makes the game more expensive, and then they have to make it up by like giving, you know, sending out like, I don't know, all these like seasons of DLC and all this other shit. Like, I just don't care, you know? I don't like Street Fighter 6. Part of it is because of that. It's way too, like, I don't know. It's just ugly looking to me. Like, you can go too far with realism. I also don't like Mortal Kombat. Like, I never liked the Mortal Kombat games that much. I never thought they were great. But the last couple where they have like the photorealistic faces, it just looks weird to me. You know, it's like, you know, L.A. Noire did the same thing, right? I'm not crazy about that. Just give me a good story. If you're going to use the faces in the gameplay like L.A. Noire did, okay, I get it. But don't go too far. You know, Rockstar, they always take it too far. Like, they tried to... Red Dead Redemption 2 is so fucking big that I get lost in it. I don't know what to do. You're going through cupboards and you know, you have to watch all the animation. Why? Just, like, grab the item. You know, when I played Resident Evil 4... the old one, like, you just open the thing, you get the item, and that's it. I don't have to see Leon bend over at the waist and pick it up and put it in his pocket. Like, I don't need to see that, but they spend money on that, and I think it artificially inflates the game length. It takes up unnecessary space, and then you end up having to repeat assets, repeat areas. You know, you have to, like, fill it with other things in different ways. I don't think it's an efficient use. And it doesn't necessarily make the games better. I mean, it really doesn't. So, anyway. Let's see. Boda says, feels like they want to fill everything that's been purposely left unanswered with their ESG trash. Yeah. Norwegian, the God Emperor of Man is now named Neof. Kill me. What's Neof? Is that something from the game? Boda says not ESG related, but remember when the Joker didn't truly have an origin story, but they officially gave him one? It's like they can't create anything original, so they ride the coattails of great art. Yes. Yeah, and trying to answer questions nobody really wants answered. So stupid. Teal'Deer says they're already looking to retcon the male-only Space Marine gene seed lore so they can have female Astartes. Because the sororitas isn't good enough. Of course it's not. They're gonna want to replace them. That's what they're gonna want to do. A Norwegian says, Teal'Deer, the question then becomes, why didn't the Emperor create female super soldiers 30 millennia ago? Why do we even care? Isn't there already like a Sisters of Battle? Boda says, despite riding the coattails of great work, they're already doing a terrible job at it. Yeah, because they're not creative. They're not. And you know why lefties are not creative? Because they don't have the capacity to tell the truth about reality, which you need to tell a good story. You have to be able to tell the truth about reality. I don't mean you have to be factually accurate. I mean you have to tell a truth, a human truth, or people will not be able to relate. If you, like, the Lord of the Rings is a fantasy, like there are no elves or dwarves or hobbits, but at the core of the story is truth, right? I don't know if you guys know what I mean. And they can't do it. All they can do is take what exists and invert it. This is what Tolkien said. I think that's what you were referencing when you said Tolkien was right, because that it's true. If you look at everything that wokies take over, the left takes over, they can only invert, they can only reverse, they can only make into something like they can only turn it upside down, is what I'm saying. Okay. Boda says this is why gatekeeping is a thing. Yes. Salt Peter Taffy says my all-time favorite game, System Shock 2, is ugly as sin by today's standards. Yeah, they remade System Shock. Do you know if they fucked it up? I understand that, or it's either already out or it's coming out. Well, Norwegian says the game part of video game is the most important. Otherwise, you only have video. Yes. Like the video game is what matters, and they're destroying that too, because they're all like now there's this giant call for accessibility, and they're using like the appeal to the disabled folks as like the way they get in. It's the Trojan horse, right? It's not about that though. Like there have been disabled people playing video games. There have been disabled people around for as long as there have been video games, and longer, much longer, and they decide based on their limitations whether or not they want to play something. Not every game should be for every person. Like, I don't need FIFA, to be made for me, because I'm not going to play FIFA. I'm not interested. So why would I like be over here demanding that FIFA be made player friendly for my ass? Like, that's stupid. And they do it already though. Fighting games have been dumbed down. You know, the last Guilty Gear, I think that they made it ultra dumbed down compared to the previous ones because, you know, and that's a Japanese game. Because people were like, well, I don't know how to play these. I want to be able to play it. Fucking whiners. Norwegian says, I bought Doom Eternal but refunded it because Bethesda was trying to force me to create an account to play the game I paid for in single player. Yeah. Saul Peter Taffy says, Street Fighter 6 looks like Arcane and Spider-Verse to me. It's got that blue-pink palette I'm sick of. I just, you know, I don't like the, you know what they're trying to do with Street Fighter 6 is, they gave it like this hip-hop aesthetic, and I'm like, why? Like, you know, and I think it's because, oh, the Browns like to play these games, because, you know, it is popular with minorities. But, like, so, I mean, it was popular with us when the music was like this, you know, 16-bit, like, tinny shit. Like, nobody cares. But I can't stand that. It's so gross. Teal Deer says, but Brian, your horse's balls shrink when it gets cold. Yeah, I know. Who can't? But I'm gonna. Oh my god, that fucking game. Teal Deer says, Sisters of Battle are the chamber militant of the Adeptus Sororitas. Yes, okay. Sorry, I'm not like really up on my 40k lore, but I kind of knew that. I think. Salt Peter Taffy says, so they remastered System Shock 1. It plays like it used to. The remake of System Shock 1 is incoming. As far as I know, there's no remake of System Shock 2 coming. Otherwise, Entertainment sold the rights to System Shock 3 to Tencent. It's dead. Oh shit, Tencent. Boda says it's slam poetry now. What is? Gaming? Yeah, I don't know. It's too bad. But anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest. I think that we're gonna, I mean, me personally, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, obviously. I'm gonna be very selective on what I spend my money on. I am interested in, okay, so I was a tabletop gamer, big tabletop, I still am, but I don't really get a chance to do it as much anymore. You see my Killer Queen shirt, by the way? I don't know if you guys can see, that's from JoJo. It's Killer Queen, it's pink. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so I was a big tabletop gamer, so I was really into, you know, mainly my two favorite tabletop games were Dungeons & Dragons and Cyberpunk. And Cyberpunk 2020 specifically. And so when Cyberpunk 2077 was released, I never played The Witcher, so I didn't really know what CD Projekt Red, like, you know, I heard they were good, but I didn't know much else about them. So I picked up Cyberpunk 2077 a year after it was released because of the abysmal launch, but they promised to fix it and everything. So a year later, I saw that it was on Steam for like half off. So I was like, well, $30 for Cyberpunk, and I understand they fixed most of the problems, so I went ahead and bought it. And I played through it, and it was fine. I mean, I think that because R. Talsorian Games and Mike Pondsmith, the creator of Cyberpunk, is kind of like a lefty, you know, transhumanist guy, it's gonna have that in there, but it doesn't really bug me that much because that's sort of like the tone. You know, Cyberpunk's kind of like a futuristic noir, you know, story. And so I did play it, but I understand that since I already have it and it's on my computer, I want to stream Cyberpunk 2077. But after this new update and all these like changes come out, so then I'll play it again like a new experience, and we'll see. But aside from that, I'm going to be very cautious about what I spend my money on. So, unfortunately, I don't know if I'm able to do Baldur's Gate because I don't want woke trash in my game. I don't know how much it's going to affect it or whatever, but I don't feel like I should be giving them my money if that's going to be a problem. So that was one I was looking at. Space Marine, I'm looking at. I hope that it's like not trash. And what was the other one? I feel like there was like another game. Well, people were asking me about Remnant 2, but I don't know. That's been out for a little while. I feel like there is something else, but I can't remember. Those are the main ones. Oh, Armored Core. Yeah, Armored Core 6. Definitely gonna get that. I don't think From Software has caught the bug yet of the wokeness. So, Boda says slam poetry, the hip hop reference. Poetry good as is, but you gotta add the hip hop twist. so it's exclusive or whatever. Cyberpunk is super buggy, I hear. Well, I actually played through Cyberpunk when I bought it like a year after it was launched, and I ran into like one crash, I think, but I mostly was fine. But the game got really easy, and I thought, so that's why I was like, I don't think they balanced it out yet, because I wasn't like, I wasn't making a build with anything in mind. I was just kind of playing the game and trying things out. And I had like a couple of guns. It was broken. I was like, no, I didn't have a problem beating the game at all. And so that kind of bothers me, because I think that there is a way to make it challenging without making it unfair. And that's another reason why I like the Souls series and FromSoft games. I'm excited for this new Armored Core, because everything I've heard is like way better than the old ones. So we'll see. Teal Deer says, but Brian, you can augment your cyber balls so that they shrink when it gets cold. I didn't play it like completely uncut, no pun intended. When I played through Cyberpunk the first time, I'm gonna probably also leave it like, I don't need the nudity. I don't see the big deal. So that's another thing I don't like that they're doing with these games. What another game I played that I hated too, well, kind of hated afterwards, is Dragon Age Origins. I don't get it. Like, why do people like this game? It was so boring. I got through it again. It was so easy. I went through it and beat it like without. I think I died once in the whole once throughout the whole game. Boda says, did you play as John Wick? No, I played a female character actually when I played Cyberpunk the first time. And I was just kind of all over the place. But I think that when I play through it again, I will be more focused on maybe, like, I don't know, handguns or maybe hacking. I don't know, because I was kind of all over the place. I think I might be like a handgun guy or a melee guy, because I didn't do melee before. I was using shotguns and rifles. It was whatever seemed powerful at the time. So, Boda says they made Cassandra ugly as fuck in Dragon Age Inquisition. Cassandra? Was that the wizard? No, that's Morgan. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I didn't care for the Dragon Age games. Oh man, I made a wizard in Dragon Age Origins, and the armor or whatever, the clothes, it was the ugliest shit I've ever seen. Like, why is this so fucking ugly? Like, I had this hat with straw coming out the top. That was like the most powerful hat. It looked like shit. I was like, why does this look so bad? So I can't. That's another thing I don't like about RPGs, is when you get like the loot, and then you end up like trying to wear the optimal armor or clothing or whatever it is, but a lot of times it doesn't match. It looks like shit. There are ugly designs, they're overly gaudy designs. I don't like it. I just there's got to be a better way. I mean, I'm not saying you have to look like Cloud all the time, but like, just because that's got its own problems. But just like, I don't know, man. Get some like the art, like the Soul series does it well. Like even if you mix and match your set, it doesn't look that bad. I mean, it's usually better to I mean, I want my character to have some good drip, is what I'm saying. I want my character to have drip. That's why I love Bloodborne. My character was the drippiest guy ever, like in Bloodborne. I had a top hat, fucking glasses, a long coat, a fucking sword cane. I was badass. That was the shit. So, anyway, I'll read a couple more comments and I'm gonna wrap it up. Boda says Cassandra was the chick with a scar on her face. She was beautiful in the previous game. She was super hot. I don't remember that one, but I haven't played that game in a long time. I just remember the gay elf that they were trying to push on me really hard, and I was like, no, please, okay? I just banged the bard. She seemed really easy. Teal Deer says, Souls games made armor so irrelevant. Fashion Souls was better than gear optimization. Yes. Well, yeah, sure. That's what I like that too, though, right? I mean, yeah, let's just do Fashion Soul. Look, why not? I gotta look at this guy. Armored Core's the same way. I care about what the parts do, but I care more about, like, does my mech look badass or not, So, anyway, I'm going to close it out here, guys. Thanks so much. This went a little bit longer than I expected, but appreciate it. I got to do something with the dog. I got to throw out some trash. I got to run some errands. So, I'll talk to you all in the next one. I think that I'll try to do some Star Wars over the weekend. And that's more of the Jedi Survivor on my PC. So I'll see you guys then. and I'll talk to you all later. Peace out. Oh yeah, and also subscribe, like, share, and yeah, leave us a comment. Let me know. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. Talk to you guys later.